How's your week been?
It's been a lot of the same and a little different.
Tell me what's been different.
Okay, well, I had a discussion with my daughter this week. We had a confrontation actually to begin with. I was at work all day and it was a day that she didn't have class. She was supposed to be home, and the only thing she really had to do other than her homework that day was to make sure she got her laundry done. Because she has 2 siblings who also need to use the laundry facilities and the rest of us in the house, and it's her job to make sure she gets her laundry done on a day when there's no one else at home. She's home by herself during the day when she's not at school because we're all at work or school. And so that's all she really had to do that day was to get the laundry done, and she didn't. She slept until I got home at noon for lunch and she was still in bed, which didn't make me very happy.
Sure.
And I got her up and we had a discussion, and I said, okay, you need to have your laundry done by the time I get home from work. And so that your brother and sister can use the laundry stuff, and you need to have that done. Long story short, I got home from work. She had a load of clothes in the washing machine, nothing in the dryer, and she was watching television and talking to a friend on the phone. And we had a confrontation.
Okay, so
I lost my cool basically, so and because it has been an ongoing problem. This isn't the first time I've gotten her up at lunchtime and said, you need to get your stuff done. And I hit the point where I was tired of feeling like I was babysitting my nearly 20-year-old daughter.
Sure.
So we had a confrontation. It wasn't nothing physical or anything like that, but just words.
Of course.
Of
course. So basically, you were frustrated about the fact that even with repeated explanation of what you're wanting, she's completely ignoring what you're saying and just kind of taking advantage of the situation that she has at home. Is that right?
That's how it feels. She I don't even think that it's so much that she doesn't get it, because she understands. I know she understands what we're saying. She knows what it means to get your laundry done before we get home. She knows these basic things. But I think what happens is that she'll say what she knows I want to hear at the moment, and then I think she really does leave the conversation with intention to go do that.
Okay.
But then she gets distracted, or she gets bored, or she whatever, and then it never happens.
Okay.
And then when I get home and it's not done and there's a confrontation, then she's very upset and she's very apologetic and I'm sorry, and there's 1,000,001 excuses why I didn't get it done, but the fact of the matter is it's still not done. And so I basically threatened to issue the ultimate ultimatum this time and said, you know what, something's got to change, or you're either going to be paying rent or you're going to have to move out.
Okay.
And which I don't really want. I do. I want to see her make those steps, but I don't want to be the one to push that.
Yeah.
I've had that pushed on me and I didn't like it. So I don't want to push that on her, but I almost wonder if I need to make it a little more uncomfortable for her to just hang out at home.
Sure. What kind of things have you guys tried with the making it less comfortable or less easy to forget the laundry or that kind of thing? Have you guys?
Not really, to be honest. Because again, the issue comes up that the things I would like to do to make it more uncomfortable, my husband doesn't want to back me up on.
Okay. Now you mentioned that last week, and I'm very curious if you feel at all like part of the issue then is between your and your husband's communication, even if a little bit of this problem is there.
I think it's in coming to an agreement on what we want to do, yes. The ultimate goal, I don't think so. I think we're on the same page. Ultimately, we both want her to take that step, to move forward in her life, to finish her education, get a job, move out, have a family, all those things that parents want for their kids, from the time they're little. So I think the big picture, we're on the same page.
Sure.
I think the little steps along the way, maybe not so much, at least not with this one.
Sure. So do you know what his kind of goal set is? Have you guys discussed that? What goals he's ready to, or what steps he's ready to take to move her forward, to help her move forward? Like you've mentioned, her paying rent, that would help her to become more of an adult, and things like that make her feel more appreciative. Does he have anything like that he's ready to start?
I think he's getting there, because like I said, this last week the frustration got to a head.
Okay.
And I think he's seeing now as well that we need to do something different.
Well, it sounds like you're doing a great job trying to convey both to your husband and to your daughter that there are issues in your mind that need to be reconciled. Otherwise, things are going to change. You know, it sounds like you have that communication part under control, and that's so hard for so many people. In my experience, that's one of the hardest things to conquer in these issues that happen within families, is just trying to figure out how to make sure that everyone really understands what your point is and what your stance is, you know.
And I think they do. My husband does, because we talk about it a lot.
Sure.
You know, we really do talk about it a lot. Because like I said, I really think we both ultimately want the same major outcome for her. But it's the day-to-day things that I'm not sure we're in the same place with. Although, like I said, I think he's getting there, because this week we had a situation. She's taking a math class and needed some help with it, which is fine. You know, we've given her, you know, whatever help we can, and we also encourage her, you know, to go to the math lab or whatever's available at her school to be able to get some more help with. And she's doing some of those things. But one of the things that I suggested to her was that she start audio taping the lectures.
Sure.
Because then you can go back and listen to it again. And for her, that has always been something that's worked really well for her. Well, she just got a new computer and she doesn't know how to use the recorder on it. And I didn't have time to show her. So I told her to ask her father to help her, you know, the night before she had to go to class, show her how to use this recorder on her computer so she could do that. Well, I told him about it, and he's okay, I'll wait, you know, wait for her to ask him. Well, last night, she was getting ready to go to school, getting all of her stuff packed up the night before, and he kept asking her, is there anything else you need me to help with? And no, I'm fine. You know, and he was getting more and more frustrated because he knew there was an issue, but he didn't want to bring it up again. He wanted her to take that step to do it.
Right.
And she didn't. And so he finally said, okay, have a great night, see you tomorrow. You know, and just kind of left it there. And then after she went to bed and we were talking about it, you know, I think he maybe finally has started to see some of the frustration that I'm dealing with in this situation, because it's the same thing with the laundry. Okay, I'll do it, I'll tell you, and then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know, so, and that's, you know,
I think that's a great way for you guys. I think that's awesome that you guys were able to come to that together, and that's really a great consequence for her if she's having issues and then had to come home and realize, oh, I don't have that lecture because I didn't ask Dad before I left. You know, like that's really great that you guys are recognizing ways to give her those consequences. I commend you for that.
Thanks. I don't know. I think part of the problem for me is that I'm still really stuck on the fact that she's almost 20 and she just doesn't seem to have any desire to change anything. You know, I mean, she's 20 almost, but she acts like she's 14, 15. Oh, Mom will do it, Dad will do it, you know, and she shares a room with her sister, and they're polar opposites on everything. And they get along great, but they're polar opposites. I mean, you know, the youngest is completely neat freak. She's not. She doesn't care. It's just stuff. She doesn't, you know, it doesn't bother her. And so that creates more conflict. But she just doesn't. I think if she had her choice, she'd stay home forever. And that's the part I'm not figuring out how to convince her how to do, you know?
Sounds like you're a little worried about that.
I'm a lot worried about that, actually.
That you're going to have to get to that point where you have to say it.
Yeah. Well, and we've got plans of what we want to do when we're finished with the things we're accomplishing here. And when the youngest graduates from high school in a few years, you know, we want to do something else.
Yeah.
And that isn't staying here with my, you know, then 23-year-old living in my basement or whatever. You know, so I don't know. I think I'm feeling that urgency to teach her how to fly a little bit, but not really sure how to do it.
That makes sense. Well, it sounds like you're making great progress, and you're really figuring out ways to convey to her in ways that she can understand that the things that you want to change and the things that you want to move forward. So I think that you're really on the right track, and I would love to discuss this with you again next week. Does that sound okay?
Sounds great.
Okay, thank you so much.
You bet.